It's not rocket science. It's a process, right? And taxes, business credit, a lot of these areas, it's a game, right? The better you understand how to play that game, the easier it is to win, right? And when you structure yourself as a business and you treat something like a business, you give yourself the ability to reap those rewards. Treat it like a hobby. It'll cost you like a hobby, right? Treat it like a business and reap the rewards of a business.
What's up, everybody? It's Jamel Gibbs, your family-oriented entrepreneur. Welcome to another business and investing podcast where you learn all things business and investing related. Listen, today we're going to talk about something that has been really popular on my channel lately, and that's business credit. A lot of you guys are interested in figuring out how you can start building up business credit right now. So I decided to bring on one of my business partners from Prime Corporate Services. And, as you guys know, I partnered with these guys a few months ago. And rather than simply partnering with them, I actually became a client as well. I'm a firm believer in doing what I say. And, if I teach it on my channel, it's because I've actually done it myself. If I recommend somebody on my channel, I've actually done business with them myself. So I truly signed up as a client. I paid money to sign up as a client. And then I became a partner with these guys in order to continue to bring more value to you as a real estate investor, as a client, as a subscriber to my channel. And I appreciate you guys very much. So look, decided to bring on one of my partners here from Prime Corporate. We're going to talk about business credit today. We're going to talk about, we're heading into tax season right now. We're going to talk about some tax advantages, some estate planning, all these things that you have to understand in order to create real wealth for you and your family to go from where you are right now to where you want to go. That's what this channel is all about, for you and your family-oriented entrepreneur. You see how that ties in? So look, guys, I know that, there's going to be certain questions that I'm going to ask today. I know there's certain things that you want to know as well. We're also providing free consultations for you guys. We'll talk about it at the end. So make sure you watch this video until the very end. A free 45 to 60 minute consultation. You're not going to find that anywhere else. This is on the strength of you being a part of my channel, part of my community, and also bringing value to you in real life before we ask you for anything. All right. So we're going to talk about all of this stuff today. And in order to get this started, let's welcome my man Tommy to the call. What's up, man?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to this. I appreciate you.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure, bro. So first and foremost, let's jump right into the content, bro. Let's tell them a little bit about what Prime Corporate Services is all about.
Sure. Yeah. So Prime Corporate Services, we've been in business for about 10 years now. And over those 10 years, we've actually helped over 100,000 entrepreneurs structure their businesses the right way. So everything from making sure if you're already an LLC or an S corporation, let's make sure it's set up properly, helping people save thousands of dollars in taxes on an annual basis. Estate planning. What I love about you and your message is this is family, right? You're doing this for a larger legacy. You're doing this for a bigger purpose than yourself. And estate planning is a huge component of that. Protect what you have, work for a larger legacy, but we also want to try and look as broke as possible on paper as that happens as well, right? Yep. And then last but not least, I know a lot of what you wanted to touch on and a lot of the feedback that you've been asked for is business credit, corporate funding. A lot of businesses fail or a lot of businesses struggle due to lack of capital. And if you understand how to bust those doors open, it's a game changer.
Absolutely, man. So look, obviously business credit is on a lot of people's minds. Taxes are great right now. We're heading into tax season, like I said, all of these other aspects. But let's talk about what people really want to know about, right? Business credit. So how hard is it let's talk about why it's important for someone to start up building business credit right now.
Sure. The two things I always like to say when we talk about business credit, it's not rocket science. It's a process, right? And taxes, business credit, a lot of these areas, it's a game, right? The better you understand how to play that game, the easier it is to win, right? And when you structure yourself as a business and you treat something like a business, you give yourself the ability to reap those rewards. Treat it like a hobby. It'll cost you like a hobby, right? Treat it like a business and reap the rewards of a business. So just like we talked about, like you said, as a client, if someone told you when you were 15 years old, Jamil, I'm going to help you make sure you have an 800 credit score by the time you turn 18 years old, by the time you turn 20 years old. When you're 15, it feels like you don't need that. When you're 18, 20, you're like, man, I wish I had an 800 credit score. That would make my life a whole lot easier, right? So it's the same thing for the business. Whether you're just getting started or if you've been in it for as many years, 20 plus years like yourself, having business credit is better. It's better to have it and not have to use it. But once you have it, you'll find that you'll want to use business credit, let the business pay for itself, and then pay yourself from there. Keep it a lot more organized as well, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So, I mean, you mentioned something right before we jumped on this call as well. You said that basically they're lending more money to businesses right now because obviously they're looking to create more jobs. You know, they're looking to expand the economy, right? Right. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have the team of credit advisors that we have are phenomenal. The head person that put our entire process together has taught at the University of New York and the University of San Francisco, and his resume is unbelievable. But as he put this together, what we've really noticed is when COVID started, we have a relationship as well with American Express. And one of our main contacts at American Express said, when COVID started, just like you mentioned, they flipped the script and they started lending larger lines of credit and were more willing to lend for businesses than individuals, right? So the climate of the economy is always going to change. Banks and lenders are always going to change. The tax code is always going to change. So if you have someone on your team that can help you understand what those changes are, the larger lines of credit, not only personally, but for your business, the easier it is to succeed and actually accomplish what you're after. I don't care what industry, but especially real estate.
That's right, man. You basically take the guesswork out of what you need to do in order to be able to excel that much quicker, right? So they're lending a lot more money to businesses right now. So obviously right now is a great time to start building business credit. And if you're in the know, if you know how to do it, it's pretty easy to get this money. How long does it usually take? How long is the process?
Yeah, great question. And be cautious of that, right? There's a lot of companies that they'll tell you they're going to get you business credit, and then you get credit quickly within 30 days. The problem with that is that's still personally signed and guaranteed to you, right? That's going to run your personal credit, if anything's based off of the inquiries of your name and your social security number. So what we do is we try and make sure that over a 90-day period, you're actually reporting to credit bureaus on your business so that between 3 and 6 months, you can get some starter lines of credit, maybe a gas card, maybe some apparel, get some hats, get some shirts that are representing your brand, right? Build up that credit over 90 days, and then we can start to build some of those larger lines of credit. So it is a long-term play when we're looking to build some actual business credit. Yeah,
man. So like I released a video on how I was able to get $14,000 in business credit in like 24 hours. Okay. These are all strategies. I know you guys, for those of you who have seen that video, if you haven't, I'll link it up at the top for you in the cards. But, for the most part, those strategies are what I've learned from my business partners from Prime Corporate. Like I said, I'm not only a partner, I'm also a client, right? So I actually used, and I taught that to you on a YouTube video, but the whole point is at the end of the day, I actually use these strategies so I know they work. I got a Home Depot card. I got a Lowe's card. I got a fleet gas card through Shell, and they gave me like $8,000 for gas. And then I got a Capital One card.
Sure.
So, between all of these cards, they amounted to right around $14,000. I'm in my second month reporting on that brand new business that I set up. And by next month, we're going to have enough to go to the next level to get even more lines once we get 3 months of reporting in on these 4 accounts, right? These are all things that I would have not known. I built up some business credit in the past, but the game has changed over the years, right? If I wouldn't have known this had I not partnered with Prime Corporate. So that's the importance of having the right partners and the right information to be able to take your business to a whole nother level. So definitely business credit is important, but what would, and this is a channel for real estate investors, Tommy, right? What can our listeners do with the business credit once they have it?
So the accounts that you just mentioned, we call those starter accounts, right? And obviously it's going to be easier for you to grow much larger lines of credit because you've been doing this for a long time. You make great money. You're an awesome investor, right? But even if you're brand new, you haven't done your first deal, you can still build business credit. So as you get these starter accounts, the next thing we want to get you into more advanced lines of credit over the next month or two. So you can have lines of credit that you can utilize for down payments, fix and flips, notes, anything real estate related. You have to start somewhere, and getting those starter accounts that you mentioned is an amazing place to start because those are things you're going to use anyway, right? But over the next month or two, you'll see that as we take you into those advanced lines of credit, we want to get you business lines of credit that have the ability to grow over time, but also have much lower interest. Let's get some 0% introductory rates. Let's give you the ability to make those decisions, whether you're wholesaling, fix and flip, whatever the strategy is based off what type of investor you are.
That's excellent, man, because, most people, and I feel like, a lot of the guru stuff, they talk about, get paid in 30 days. That's fine, right? A lot of people can make money relatively quickly. But it really takes time to build a foundation. So I'm glad you're mentioning the 3 to 6 months, because that just proves that it's going to take some time to get established, build a strong foundation. Then you can build on top of that foundation, because if your foundation is weak, man, the building is going to crumble, right? You want to build that solid foundation first, and you can do that through these different business lines. And then the lines will increase over time, allowing you to buy more real estate and invest more money into your business over time. So that's solid, man. I love the fact that, we're setting a realistic plan for people right off the bat. 3 to 6 months, expect to put some time into this, and it's going to pay off in the end. Now, obviously, once these listeners start, making some money, they start investing this money into different real estate ventures, they're going to be in a position where they're going to need taxes done. They're going to need a bookkeeper and things like that. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Even if you don't make money, right, you got to file your taxes.
That's right.
Benjamin Franklin said it best. The 2 things that aren't going anywhere are death and taxes. So regardless of where you are, there are over 75,000 pages of a tax code. It's a game, and it's all meant to impact behavior. They change tax codes because they want us to act a certain way, right? Business meals, for instance, 2021, 2022, they just changed that from 50% deductible to 100% tax deductible, right? So Jamel, you and I, if we were to go grab some lunch or talk business, go to a dinner, whatever that looks like, that's a business meal, right? We want to make sure to track those expenses and take advantage of those changes as they are happening. So to give everyone a visual, everyone has a name, a social security number, and a credit score, right? Ultimately, we want to do the same thing for the business. Make sure we have a name, have the EIN number, build up that credit profile. So even if no money is made, you're showing the IRS, I'm an investor, I'm treating this as a business. And even if you don't do a deal, there's so many deductions that you're able to take. So profit or loss, good or bad, the economy and the tax code is set up to reward investors. Let's make sure you're set up properly first. Let's make sure you have something in place to track your expenses. And then, yes, we have a full team of CPAs to make sure that money is not being left on the table from a tax standpoint.
And just so you guys know, you don't get the same tax benefits when you're doing business under your personal name versus a business. So honestly, this country is encouraging you to set up a business to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. And once you set up a real business, the reason they're doing this, again, they're providing you with more business credit at this point, giving you more benefits on your taxes. It's because they want to create more jobs, right? They want people to be able to create more work for other people. So if they're going to fund that, if they're going to provide you with all of these opportunities, then you want to take advantage of these, right? So in order for you to save on your taxes, you're going to have to set up a separate entity. You're an entity within yourself, but you want to set up a separate entity through your business in order to be able to get, more lines and take advantage of all of these opportunities. And we're heading into tax season. Most people that I know that make a whole lot of money pay the least amount in taxes. Not saying that paying taxes is bad. For those of you guys who are the tax warriors out there, what we're saying is what we're saying is you can minimize the amount that you're paying in taxes and maximize your profit. Keep more of that money in your pocket. I'd rather pay myself than to give it to Uncle Sam. That's just my personal preference. Now, why is estate planning so important, man?
Yep, for sure. Yeah. One of the stories, just to talk about the tax warriors, got me in the funny bone there. This Amazon, it's public knowledge that they didn't pay any money in taxes, right? If you have a team that helps you understand that the year's broken up in quarters, January, February, March, quarter one, so on and so forth, going into that fourth quarter, we want to be able to help you understand, say, Jamel, nice job this year. You had a great year. This is how much money you either need to invest. This is how much money you need to put back into your business. If not, you're handing it over in the form of taxation, right? It's not a matter, you want to pay your healthy share, but if you have money that's either going to go to the form of taxes or allows you the ability to be an additional investor and continue to build your legacy, that's the goal. Planning is so important in any business, but especially when it comes to taxes. So
absolutely, man. And again, just to add to that, if you have a surplus at the end of the year, which you should as a business, right, either you're going to pay that money out to the government or you're going to be able to invest that money and save on the taxes. You got to have the right team who knows how to do this in order for you to be able to take advantage of it. Right.
Yep.
So, and then you're making money at this point. So you started up business lines of credit. You're saving money in taxes at this point. How does estate planning tie into all of this?
Yep. I saw I listened to the podcast that you did with Ken Van Loo not long ago. He's awesome. We met. Yeah, he's a great guy. It all starts with making sure you're structured properly entity-wise, right? So LLC, S corporation, let's make sure you have that foundation. Then we can build the business credit and everyone's going to have to worry about the taxes. But from an estate planning standpoint, we have a team of attorneys that we want to have it as two parts, right? God forbid something happens to you. Protect the assets you've worked hard for, your homes, your bank accounts, your retirement accounts, the little ones, the loved ones, the grandkids, whatever that looks like. Everyone's situation's different, right? So one of the things that the reason I bring Ken up is he talks about in that podcast that you did, how he utilized holding companies for additional asset protection, right? Delaware, Nevada, Wyoming, they have some additional privacy laws. So if you're just getting started, we don't want to make it total overkill and overwhelming if you're just getting going, right? Let's crawl before you walk and walk before you run. But at what point is a living will going to give you more peace of mind and give you more protection? At what point is a holding company going to give you more protection, more peace of mind? And then from there, what you have right now is going to be different than where you are in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. So let's not only look at what you have to protect now, but let's make sure you have a game plan, a vision, and an understanding of where you're going so that those things are protected as well. And that's where I think estate plan is so important to cover your back on what you work your whole life to achieve.
Absolutely, man. I love that. Now let's bring it full circle, man. Let's provide our listeners with a step-by-step process to go from getting started to, being able to put themselves in a position to plan an estate. What would be the steps that you would recommend? Let's say three to 5 steps. What would be those steps that you would recommend someone listening to this podcast from getting started to ending up there? What should they do?
I think the first thing is take advantage of the offer that Jamel's put together here, right? Schedule a call to speak with one of our team members, 45-minute to an hour consultation at no cost, right? That's due to this relationship, obviously, and we want to make sure to help everyone understand that everyone's situation is different. So the first thing is schedule a consultation to understand where you are, right? If you understand where you are right now, it's a lot easier to set those goals, create those vision boards, build that expectation of where you're going. So I think that's number one. Number two, let's review what you already have in place from an entity standpoint. Is it time for a holding company? Are your operating agreements and articles of incorporation structured properly? Right? Number three, have a system to organize your expenses. Do you have a tracker? Do you use Excel? Do you use QuickBooks? Do you have a shoebox full of receipts at the end of every year that you tell yourself, I'm not doing this again next year, and next year comes?
I started off that way, man.
I think understanding where you are, understanding how you're structured, then allows us to take the steps of what I would consider to be steps 4 and step 5 of building business credit. So you have that for the long-term growth of your business, and then protecting your assets and having trusts, wills, living wills, power of attorneys, those things put in place. Make sure you're set up properly. Make sure you're tracking your expenses properly. Build the business credit as you do so. And then let's go plan on protecting your legacy long-term.
So quick question, man. When would an investor know when it's time to set up that holding company?
I think that it just depends on what your liabilities are, right? It's the same thing for an estate plan. A lot of people say.
So I guess, is there a certain amount of money that somebody should be making before they decide to set up that holding company?
Not necessarily. I truly believe that if you own a home, you should protect it, right? So if someone like yourself, if you owned one home, that would seem like nothing. You'd probably even say, I got one home. Who cares, right? But to some people, that one home means a lot more than it does to you, right? So depending on what your risk versus your assets are, that's going to vary for everybody. But I truly believe if you own real estate, if you have retirement accounts, if there's things that you want to pass on to the future generations, if something were to happen to you tomorrow, God forbid, that's when it's time to make sure you're protected, whether that's a holding company or whether that's a trust.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. So you want to definitely set up, the free consultation, which we'll get to in just a little bit. Position yourself with the holding company. Make sure you know, at the very least, get, QuickBooks, get some type of organization going. I have a couple of bookkeepers myself, and bookkeepers can get a little pricey, but they don't have to be pricey as well. But that's why you have the team at Prime Corporate to be able to help you out with that. And then start building up the business credit and really taking your business to another level. 5 simple steps to be able to get started on the right foot as a real estate investor to be able to make millions of dollars in this business. It's a great time to be in real estate, but it's an even better time to start building up your business credit and your entities right now. So with that being said, I told you guys at the very beginning that, I've partnered with Prime Corporate in order to be able to bring you the best value that I personally can. And I've become a client myself in order to use the service. I've proven that the service has worked for me, and I know it's going to work for you as well. And I've been in business for 20 years. I've done business, I've built business credit for myself. I have a team of tax people and all of this stuff, but I decided to step into the prime corporate world to be able to tell you that, look, this is the real deal. And I got to tell you, without a shadow of a doubt, these guys are the real deal. I wouldn't be calling my business partners if they weren't. So what we've done is set up an offer where we have a free consultation. You don't have to come out of pocket for this call at all. We're not asking you for any money. 45 to 60 minutes to get you set up the right way in your business, whether it's business credit, tax planning, or estate planning. Wherever you are right now, we have something for you at whatever stage in life you're at. A lot of you guys are interested in building your business credit to get started. Perfectly fine. Set up that free consultation and take advantage of this opportunity. 45 to 60 minutes of our time to be able to help you get started. And if you decide to do business with us after that, that'll be great. We'll be able to help you not only get the information right here on the YouTube page, but also be able to structure it in a way where we're actually holding your hand to get this thing done. Again, they're holding my hand. So we want to hold your hand to be able to go from where you are to where you want to go. So in order to take advantage of that, I'm going to leave a link in the description box. Now, normally I would have you go directly to my link tree where it says get more from Jamel right in the description box of the YouTube. But I'm going to leave a separate link. It's going to say free consultation right in the description box with a link right next to it. I want you guys to go click on that link, set up your free consultation in order to be able to, in order for us to be able to help you in your business. Quick question, man. If our listeners needed to get started right away and they wanted some more information, some books to read or something like that, what books would you recommend they get started on?
This one's a little bit, this is one that I'm reading right now. So it's at the top of my mind. It's the second time I'm going through it, and it has been an absolute game changer for us as a business and an organization. Rocket Fuel, I think, is so important because it's a book that helps you understand how to take action, right? I could refer a bunch of different tax books, a bunch of Taxes for Dummies, even as a good place to start. But the reason I love Rocket Fuel so much is there's some people listening to this that are visionaries and have these huge plans of how big their business is going to be. As much as I love that, you have to have an integrator. You have to be able to really take the roles of, it's going to take work. If it was easy, everyone would do it. I think Rocket Fuel is a book for anybody that can really, if you implement those strategies. I'm in love with that book right now. So I got to give it another shout out.
Absolutely, man. I'm going to leave a link to Rocket Fuel in the description box so you guys can check that out as well. Listen, it all starts, Tommy just said it. It all starts with taking action. It's all mindset. Right. If you can force yourself to take action, you force yourself to learn how to crawl, then walk, then run, right. You'll be able to get to that destination that you're heading to, but you have to get started. I think as an adult, I've said this before, as adults, we tend to forget what it was like being a kid where, we were learning how to walk. We fell a couple of times. Did we stop, pursuing walking? No, we got up. We eventually took the first step. Once we took the first step, we took another step. Eventually we're jogging, then we're running, right? As adults, we forget that we had to fall in order to learn how to run. And sometimes we're afraid to get up and start crawling or to take that first step. You have to take action because when you take the first step, momentum builds. And once the momentum is built up, you guys are going to be able to really catapult your businesses, but you got to get started. So take advantage of this free consultation. We want to provide you with as much value as possible. Again, before even asking you for anything. And once we provide that value to you, if you decide to do business after that, we're more than happy to help you out in your real estate investing business. Any last words for our listeners, man?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to this. I don't feel like you need to overly prepare for that call either. come into it. We've got an excellent team. We've got a large team. We can take a lot of calls and pick their brain. Put yourself in a position to succeed by understanding where you are now and where you're going. And like you said, it's a lot of the most successful people in the world are not necessarily the smartest. A lot of times it's the people that took action. So I totally agree with that message.
Absolutely, man. Tommy Thornburg, Prime Corporate Services. Look, these are my business partners. They've been my business partners for a few months now, and they are great at what they do. Listen, make sure you take advantage, set up that free consultation, and make sure you take action today, because the people who take massive action get massive results. And this is not for you. This is for you, your family. You're doing this for somebody else. Set your goals outside of yourself, and you'll achieve huge things, unbelievable things. And that's how you really create that legacy for the future. Listen, guys, it's been a real pleasure. I'm see you guys on the next one. Peace.